Well, first thing you want to do, chalk your wheel. Get your keys, put it in your pocket. Chalk your wheel. Put it behind the wheel. I always put the chalk behind the wheel. The next thing you do, walk to the front of the truck. You're gonna walk. We're gonna both sides of the truck. You're gonna look up, make sure ain't no low wires or limbs or something like that. Then next you wanna do, look at the truck and see how it's sitting. You'll make sure it's sitting level. Not leaning to the left and not leaning to the right. If it's leaning to the right or to the left indicator, could be a broken spring, airbag shoe could be busted, could have a flat tire, or your load could be shifted. Then next you want to start your top. Look at your lights. These are your identification lights, your clearance lights. You want to check and make sure they're working properly. They're the proper color, amber. They're not cracked, they're not broken. Then the next thing we'll do, look at the windshield. Check the windshield out, make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, it's not broken, and no legal stickers. Then I'm gonna start here with my windshield wiper blade. Check the windshield wiper. What I'm doing, I'm checking the rubber. Make sure the rubber is not dead and not dry rotted and laying against the glass. Then next I'm gonna come here to my exhaust system. I'm gonna check my exhaust. I'm gonna check all the brackets, make sure they're not cracked, not broken, all my nuts and bolts are present. Then I'm looking at my exhaust. I'm looking for soot, trail, and rust holes. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure. Come here. Pop my hood here. Come here and check my lights. Make sure they're working properly. Make sure they're clean, they're not cracked, they're not broken. Check my mirror, make sure it's properly mounted, secure. All my nuts and bolts are present. Check my mirror itself, make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, it's not broken. I'm gonna come here and check my tag. Make sure my tag is properly mounted, secure, and clean, and visible. Then next, I'm gonna look up under my truck. What I'm checking for oil leaks, fuel leaks, and coolant leaks. I don't see none of that. Come here, check the headlight the same. Make sure it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's working proper. And check my turn signal. Make sure it's working properly and it's proper color, it's amber. Check this mirror here, make sure it's properly mounted, secure, it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's properly mounted, secure. My mirror itself, make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, it's not broken. From here, pop this and raise my hood. Follow along, y'all can hear me. Right here, I'm gonna check my coolant level. Make sure it's at the proper level. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure. It's not leaking, it's not cracked, it's not busted. Then I'm gonna check my hoses. Make sure they're not dry rotted, not frayed, not rubbing against anything, they're not leaking. Check all my hoses. Check all my wires on this side. Make sure I don't see no bad wires or no wire rubbing up against anything. Everything properly connected and mounted, secure. Check the windshield washer fluid. Make sure it's at the proper level. It's not cracked, it's not broken, it's not leaking. You know, come here and check my alternator. I'm gonna check my alternator. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, all my nuts and bolts are present. I'm gonna check my alternator belt. Pull on it. Trying to have them on 3/4 inch pull on it. I'm gonna check it, make sure it's not frayed, it's not cracked, it's not dry rotted, it's properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna come in and check my water pump. This is my water pump. I'm gonna check it, make sure it's properly mounted and secure, it's not leaking, all my nuts and bolts are present. I'm gonna check my belt, make sure it's not dry rotted, it's not frayed, it's not cracked, it's properly mounted and secure. She'll pull on, she'll have no more than 3/4 inch pull on it. All right. Go around to the other side. Get to this side. I'm gonna start the inside, work my way out. Start with my air compressor. My air compressor is gear driven. I don't hear no air coming from it. All my nuts and bolts are present. My power steering pump is gear driven. I don't see no oil or no grease coming from it. It's properly mounted and secure. I'm gonna check my hoses coming off my power steering pump, going to my reservoir here. Power steering reservoir, I'm gonna check it. Make sure all my hoses are not frayed, it's not cracked, it's not leaking, not dry rotted. I'm gonna come here and check my power steering reservoir. Check the level on it and make sure it's at the proper level and it is, it's full. Put the top back on it, secure it back. Come on, thing. There we go. Then I'm gonna come here and check my oil. I'm gonna twist my oil, pull it out. I'm gonna wipe it out, put it back in there. I'm gonna check it again. Well, I'm looking, make sure it's at the proper level. Make sure it's not milky. I don't see no metal shaving in it. Okay. Put it back in and lock it back into place. All right, then I'm gonna look over my engine, check all my hoses, make sure they're not dry rotted, not frayed, not leaking. They're properly mounted and secure. Check all my wires. Make sure my wires are properly secure. No naked wires showing, they're not rubbing up against anything. Check all my wires here. Then I'm coming down, I'm gonna check my steering linkage. Check my steering linkage. I'm gonna try to move it, make sure it don't move. Shouldn't move at all. Make sure it's not bent, cracked, or broken. I'm check my coupling here and here. Then make sure they properly greased. They don't have no excess movement in it. Then I'm gonna come here, start with my power steering gearbox. Check my power steering gearbox. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, all my nuts and bolts are present, it's not cracked or broken. Check all my hoses coming off my power steering pump box. Going to my power steering pump, make sure they're not frayed, not dry rotted, not rubbing against anything, they're not leaking. Then I'm gonna come here and check my shocks. Check my shocks, make sure they're properly mounted and secure. All my nuts and bolts are present. And make sure they're not leaking. If they're leaking, they bad shocks. Then I'm gonna come here, check my suspension mount. This is my suspension mount. I'm gonna check it and make sure it's not cracked, not broken. All my nuts and bolts are present. Come here, check my leaf spring. I got 2 leaf springs. I'm checking here and make sure they're not cracked, they're not broken, and not shift. If they shift a quarter or more, or they crack more than a quarter, I had to put it out of service. Check my U-bolts. Check my U-bolts, make sure they're present, secure, they're not cracked, they're not broken. All my nuts and bolts are present. Set my suspension mounts back here, make sure they're properly mounted, secure, they're not cracked or broken. All my nuts and bolts are present. Then I'm gonna come here, check my pitman on. This is your pitman on. I'm gonna check my pitman on, make sure it's properly mounted, secure. All my nuts and bolts are present. Then I'm gonna check my drag link, pull on it. It shouldn't have no movement in it. I'm check it, make sure it's properly mounted, secure, it's not cracked and not broken. All my nuts and cotter keys are present. Check my steering arm. Make sure my steering arm is present, secure, properly greased. All my nuts and bolts and cotter keys are present. Then I'm gonna come here and check my brake line. check my brake line, make sure it's not frayed, it's not cracked, it's not rubbing up against anything. I don't hear no air coming from it. It's connected to my brake chamber. And my brake chamber is properly banded. It's not bent. It's not all my clamps and all are present. My nuts and bolts are present. I don't hear no air coming from it. Then I'm gonna check my push rod. The push rod is right here. I'm gonna check it. Then make sure it's properly mounted and secure. It's not bent. It's not cracked. It's not broken. My car keys and pins are present. Then I'm gonna check my slack adjuster. Make sure it's at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna check it. Make sure it's not cracked and not broken and properly greased. The way I check it, I chop my wheel, release my brakes, and pull on it. Shouldn't move no more than 1 inch. Then I'm come here and work to the inside. I'm gonna go with my drum first. Check my drum, make sure it's present, and make sure no grease or oil is present. It's not cracked, it's not ripped. Then I'm gonna check my brake pads on my brake shoes. At least have at least 1/4 inch of brake pads on my brake shoes. No grease or oil is present. Then I'm gonna come here and check my rim, inside my rim and outside my rim. Check and make sure it's not bent, not cracked, no legal wells. It's properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna check my tire. My front tire should be 432nd PSI. 432nd tread depth. It's 85 to 110 PSI where I check with a tire gauge. I'm gonna check it, make sure it's even worn. Don't make sure I don't have no recap tire on it. Should be a virgin tire. Alright. Then I'm gonna check the inside and the outside of my tire, make sure there's no cuts, no blisters, no foreign objects sticking inside or outside of my tire. Then I'm gonna come in and check my valve steel, make sure I got a cap on it, make sure it's not bent or cracked, don't hear no air coming from it. Then I'm gonna check the seal around my tire, make sure it's sealed around in my tire, my rim. Alright. Then I'm gonna come here, talk about my lug nuts. All my lug nuts, make sure they tight, make sure they're properly mounted and secure. If they loosen, be indicated by rust trails or shining thread. Then I'm gonna check my hub oil seal, check my nuts and bolts around it, make sure they're properly mounted, secure. All my nuts and bolts are present, and make sure there ain't no oil or grease is present. Then my sight glass, I'm checking, make sure I got oil in my sight glass. But y'all know that's part of A, right? Then you do your coupling and your airlines and all that stuff. They go part of A too. Up to B, the same thing. All right, now I'm finna start up. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm come here, I'm gonna check my mirror. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure. All my nuts and bolts are present. Make sure it's properly secure. I'm gonna check my mirror to make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, it's not broken. Then I'm gonna come here and check my door. Check my door, make sure the door handle working. I'm gonna check my door latches. Make sure they're not cracked, it's not broken. They're properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna check my seal around my door. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, it's not torn, it's not cracked. Then I'm gonna come here and check my helmet. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, tight, no grease, oil is present. Then I'm gonna come here and check my fire extinguisher. It's a 10 BC fire extinguisher. I'm gonna check it, make sure it's properly mounted, secure, and it fully charges, hands in the green. Then I'm gonna come here and check my steps. Make sure my steps are clean, free from grease, oil, no snow or ice are present. It's properly mounted and secure. Up under here is my batteries. I will check my batteries, make sure they're properly mounted and secure at the proper level, no corrosion. They secure, properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna move on down the side. I'm gonna check my fuel tank. Check my fuel tank, make sure it's properly mounted and secure, make sure my rubber gummits up under my fan and make sure they're properly mounted and secure. Then look up under my tank. I'll make sure I don't have no fuel leaks, no holes, or no dents in my tanks. Then we'll come here, check my fuses here, and make sure it's properly connected, it's not corroded, it's properly mounted and secure. Then we'll come here, take the cap off. What I'm looking for, check my gasket. Rubber seal. Make sure it's not torn, it's not cracked, it's properly mounted and secure. Make sure I got fuel in my tank. And I do. Now I'm come here and check my reflectors. I got reflectors here, got 3 reflectors. Make sure they're present, secure, properly mounted, secure. Then I'm gonna come here and look, make sure I got extra fuses and extra circuit breakers in my cargo bay. Then I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna check my logo. Make my logo, make sure it's not torn or not peeling off. It's properly mounted, secure. Check my cargo door. Make sure it's open and closed properly. My hinges are working properly. All my nuts and bolts are present. Then I'm gonna come in, check my indicator lights, and make sure it's properly mounted, secure, working properly. Proper color is amber. Come on around here. I'm gonna start at the back. I'm gonna check my reflector tapes on the back of my tractor. Make sure they're present, secure, they're not peeling off, nothing like that. Then I'm gonna check my lights to make sure my cargo lights working properly. They're clean, they're not cracked, they're not broken, the proper color is clear. Then I'm gonna come here and check my handrail, make sure it's properly mounted, secure, and tight, no grease or oil is present. Come here and check my catwalk and my steps. Make sure they're properly mounted, secure. No grease and oil is present, no snow and ice is present. So they're secure properly. Come and check my frame. Look up and down my frame. What I'm looking for illegal holes and illegal wells in the frame. The frame is not bent or it's not warped. Or it's not cracked. Then I'm gonna come here on the inside, check my drive shaft. I got a 3-part drive shaft. I'm gonna check it. Look up and down my drive shaft. Make sure it's not bent, it's not cracked, it's not broken. And check my universal joints. Make sure they're properly greased. And all my nuts and bolts are present and none missing. Then I'm gonna come here, check my electric connection, make sure the flap is over, it's plugged in properly. Then I'm gonna check my electric connection itself, the wire itself. Make sure it's not hanging too low. Make sure it's not torn. I don't see no barrel wire showing. Make sure you ain't got no tape on it. And it's connected here. What I'm doing, I'm gonna pull this out. What I'm looking for, I'm looking to make sure ain't no dirt or nothing stuck up in here. Check my pins, make sure I got 7 pins and all of them present, none missing, none bent, or none cracked or broken. Put this back in, make sure my flap go back over it, that it stays in place. Now I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna check my emergency line and service line. My emergency line is red, my service line is blue. I'm gonna come here and make sure it's properly secure and tight. There's no, I don't hear no air coming from it. I'm gonna check my line itself. Make sure the line is hanging properly, not hanging too low where it rub up on nothing. I'm gonna check my emergency line and service line. Make sure they're not crimped or they're not, don't have no holes in it, you know, air coming from it. I don't see no tape on it. Then I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna take one of them loose. Take my service line loose. What I'm doing, checking the rubber gummits. Make sure they're not cracked, they're not torn, they're not dry rotted on both of them. Check on the trailer too. Put it back on. What you call your glad hand. Check this the same way I checked that one. Alright. Then I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna start with my airlines. I'm gonna check my airlines. Make sure they're not rubbing up against anything. They're not frayed, they're not cracked. I don't hear no air coming from them. They're not dry rotted, and they're connected to my brake chamber. And my brake chamber is properly banded. It's not bent, it's not cracked. Don't hear no air coming from it. All my nuts and bolts are present. Then behind them, check my push rod. Check my push rod, make sure it's not bent, it's cracked. All my Carter keys are present. And check my slack adjuster. Make sure it's at a 90-degree angle. Where I check it, I chop my wheel, release my brakes, and pull on it. And it should move no more than 1 inch. Move more than 1 inch, you have to get it fixed. Then I'll come here and check my suspension mount. Suspension mount, properly mounted, secure, it's not cracked, it's not broken. All my nuts and bolts are present. Come here, check my leaf spring. My leaf springs are present. They're not cracked, they're not broken. If they shift more than a quarter or crack more than a quarter, I had to put them out of service. Then come in and check my U-bolts. My U-bolts are present, secured. They're not bent, they're not broken. All my nuts and bolts are present, they're properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna check my shocks. Check my shocks, make sure they're properly mounted and secure. All my nuts and bolts are present and they're not leaking. They're properly mounted and secure. Come here, check my airbags. Check my airbag, make sure they're properly inflated. They're not dry rotted. They're not cracked. Don't hear no air coming from it. Then I'm come here, go to the inside, my drums, go to my brake drum. Check my brake drum to make sure it's present. Make sure it's not cracked or broken. Make sure no grease or oil is present. You check my brake pads on my brake shoes. Let's have at least 1/4 inch of brake pads on my brake shoes. No grease or oil is present. Then I'm talking about the inside of my rim, the outside of my rim, to make sure it's not cracked, it's not broken, not bent, no legal welds on it. And check the seals around my tires and my rim, make sure it's proper sealed around it. Then check the inside and outside of my tire, make sure no cuts, no blisters, no foreign objects sticking in the outside of my tire. Check the top of my tire, make sure it's even wear. 2/32 tread depth in each major groove. All right. Then here, check my valve stem on the inside of that tire to make sure I got a cap on it. It's not bent, it's not cracked, not broken. Nothing to have coming from it. Then I'm gonna come here. They got what you call bud wheels. So they got bud wheels together. When I'm checking the space. Make sure that there ain't no space between the bud wheels. Shouldn't be no daylight between it, right? It should be equal space. Your tires shouldn't be rubbing together. Shouldn't nothing be wedged in between your tires. No bottle, no rocks, or nothing like that. And they're properly mounted and secure. Then I'm gonna come here, do this tire the same way I did this tire. I'm gonna check the tread depth on this. It should be 2/32 in each major groove and even wore. Check the inside and outside tire, make sure no cuts, no blisters, no foreign objects sticking in or outside the tire. Then I'm gonna come in and check the rim. Make sure the rim is properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not broken. Check around the seal around the tire and the rim, make sure it's sealed properly. I'm gonna check my valve stem. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, not bent, not cracked. Cap on it, make sure it's not leaking. I'm come and check my lug nuts. All of them present, secure, tight, no rust trails or shining threads. Come here and check my axle seal. Check all my bolts on it, make sure they're tight, no I'm missing, all my nuts and bolts are present. Make sure no grease or oil is present. Okay. Here's another break. Action. Check my valve stem. And use the tire gauge to check my pressure. Should be 85 to 110 psi. I'm gonna check these tires and wheel suspension the same way I check these tires. Okay. Now I'm gonna go up under it. What I'm doing is check my fifth wheel. All right, I'm checking the apron. This is your apron. This is your fifth wheel. I'm checking to make sure there's no daylight between your apron and your fifth wheel. All right, then I'm checking to make sure it's properly greased. My apron is properly greased. I don't see no damage to my apron. All right, then I'm come in and check my fifth wheel itself. Make sure all my nuts and bolts are present. The pin is in place. Then I'm come in and check my release arm. Make sure my release arm is locked in, it's not cracked or broken. Check my air line. Go to my air slide for my locking pin. Check my air line, make sure it's properly mounted, secure. Don't hear no air coming from it. I'm checking the locking pin and make sure they locked in place. They're not cracked or broken. Then I'm gonna come in and check my platform itself, make sure it's properly greased. All my nuts and bolts are present on my platform. Come here and check my mounting bolts. All my mounting bolts are present and secure. They know I'm missing, no I'm broken. Check my fifth wheel itself, make sure it's properly greased. Okay. Come around here and just break this part out here. I'm at the point to this, ain't going up under it. I'm gonna come around here. I'm gonna look at my locking pin, locking jaw. Make sure it's locked around my shank, not the head of my kingpin. A kingpin is properly mounted and secure, it's not cracked, it's not broken. Okay. You got the shot, you got that shot. Now I'm gonna get my mud flap. Check my mud flap hanger, make sure they're properly mounted and secure. all my nuts and bolts are present. Make sure I have my reflectors on my mud flap. Another thing I'm checking on my mud flap, make sure my mud flap not torn, and not rubbing the tires, and not rubbing the ground. They're properly mounted and secure. Then I'm coming here to talk about my lights on the back of my tractor. Make sure they're red in color and they working. My brakes light, my turn signal light, and running lights, four-way flashing, all on present and secure, and they're working properly. Okay. Start in the front of my trailer. Check the front of my trailer. What I'm looking for, make sure all my ribs are present, make sure no holes in my trailer. Check my clearance light, top, make sure they're present, secure, the proper colors, amber, they're not cracked, they're not broken, they're working properly. Then I'll come here, stand, and look down the side of my trailer. What I'm looking for, make sure my trailer not bulged out. I'm looking that I can see down the side of my trailer. All right, then I'm looking at the top of my trailer and the bottom of my trailer. These are called the rut rails. I'm checking in to make sure they're not torn, they're not cracked. All my ribbons is present and secure. All right, then I'm looking at my reflectors down the side of my trailer. Make sure all of them there at least got to have at least 90% of reflectors down the side of my trailer. Make sure that DOT reflectors is present and secure. Then I'm looking at the side of my trailer itself. Make sure no holes or no cuts inside my trailer. I don't want my cargo to get wet. Then check the clearance light on the top of this trailer. Make sure it's proper color amber, working properly, proper color is amber. Then I'm gonna come on down this trailer. Stop here. Look at the cross numbers. These are the cross numbers upon my trailer, all the way down my trailer. Make sure cross numbers.
I thought that was the cross.
Cross numbers. Alright, check it, make sure none missing, none cracked, none broken. I'm gonna check the floor itself. It's a wooden floor. I'm gonna check it, make sure there's no hole in it, it's not dry right, it's strong enough to carry a load. Then I'll come here and check my landing gear. Check my landing gear. Check my feet on both my landing gear. They're present, secure. I'm gonna check my cross frame, my cross. Make sure it's present, secure. It's not bent, it's not broken. All my nuts are broken. The bolts are present. Then I'm gonna check my crossbar here. I'm gonna check it and make sure the nuts and bolts are present. None missing. Where I'm gonna check it, I'm gonna come here and let it down. And make sure both feet come down the same. They are. So let me know my bolt and nuts are present in the crossbar. Roll it back up. Then I'm gonna secure my helmet. On the back of the bracket. Then I'll walk on down the trailer. Get the indicator light. Stop. Make sure it's working properly. And they do. Proper color is amber. It's not cracked. It's not broken. Then we'll stop again. Look up under my trailer again. Check the cross number. Make sure they all present. None cracked, none broken, none missing. Check my flow. Make sure they not dry right. No holes in the flow. Strong enough to carry a load. Come here. Stop. Check my brake line, electric lines. Make sure they're at least 18 inches off the ground. Make sure my springs are present and hold them up properly. You know, come here, look at my hoses itself, make sure they're not cracked, not dry right, not frayed, and no air coming from it. Check my electric connection in here, my electric wires, make sure it's not torn. Don't see no bare wires showing. It's the proper height. Don't see no tape on it. You know, come here, talk about my sliding rail. Look at my sliding rail. Make sure my sliding rail is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, it's not broken. Don't see no legal wheels on it. Then I'm come here and talk about my sliding tandem. sliding channel. Check it, make sure my sliding channel is properly mounted, secure. My arm is down, is in the lock position. And check my pin. My pin is properly mounted, fully extended, and then I cracked and not broken. Alright? And I'll come here and talk about my hanger or my suspension mount. It's called a hanger. Check it, make sure it's not cracked, it's not broken. All my nuts and bolts are present. I'm talking about my, oh, let's get up under here. I'm talking about my brake line. Check my brake line, make sure it's not frayed, not cracked, not broken. The air coming from it's connected to my brake chamber. My brake chamber is properly banded. It's not bent, not broken. Here no air coming from it. Talk about my slack adjuster. My slack adjuster is properly mounted, secure, not cracked. All my car keys are present. My slack adjuster, check it, make sure it's not bent, not broken. It's at a 90-degree angle, properly greased. Where I check it, chop my reel, release my brakes, pull on it, should move no more than 1 inch. Then I'm going to my brake drum. Check my brake drum on the inside. Make sure it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's present. No grease oil is present. Check my brake pads on my brake shoes. Make sure at least 1/4 inch of brake pads on my brake shoes and no grease oil is present. Alright, then we'll talk about the inside of my rim, outside my rim. Make sure it's not bent, it's not cracked, no illegal wheel. My valve still, properly mounted, secured, not bent, not cracked, no air coming from it. Then I check my tire pressure with a tire gauge. Should be 85 to 110 psi. Then I'll come in and check the inside of my tire, outside my tire. No cuts, no blisters, no foam pipes sticking in. Then I'm talking about the wear of the tire. Should be even wool, 237 thread depth in each major groove. Alright. Then we'll talk about my space inside my wheel, called bud wheel. So check to make sure they're equal space and no daylight should be in between the rims. No bottles, no rims, no tires, no nothing. Should be inside my rim. And then I'm gonna check inside the rim, outside the rim, make sure it's not bent, cracked, no legal welds on it. Then I'm talking about the inside of the tire and outside of the tire, no cuts, no blisters, no falling off, sticking inside the tire. Check the tire. Tread depth should be 2/32 each major groove, even one, no mismatched tires on these. Okay. Then check the tire pressure with the tire gauge, should be 85 to 110 psi. Use the tire gauge to check it. Then I'm come in and check my valve seal. The valve seal got a cap on it. It's not leaking, it's not bent. Properly mounted, secure. Check all my lug nuts, they present, secure, no tight, no missing, no rust trails or shining thread. Check my hub oil seal, check all my nuts and bolts around it. Make sure they're tight, make sure no grease or oil is leaking inside my rim, on my rim. Check my oil, check my cap itself, make sure I got proper oil inside my cap. Then I'm come here, get on back to airbags. It's an air ride system, so I'm gonna check my airbags. Make sure my airbags properly inflated. Then I dry ride it. It's not cracked, here's no air coming from it. Then we check my shocks on the inside. Make sure my shocks are properly mounted, secure. All my nuts and bolts are present, and they're not leaking. Then we check these wheels, suspension the same way like these wheels. Then we come here, check my mud flap hanger. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, not bent, not cracked, not broken. All my bolts are present. Check my mud flap, make sure it's not torn. Not rubbing up against the tire, not hanging on the ground. So it's properly mounted and secure. So I come in and check my door tire. My door tire is properly mounted and secure. My ribs are present. It's properly mounted and secure. Yeah, we got about the control on. We're gonna check all control on. And what your airbag sit on. So check the control on, make sure it's not big, scratched, or broken. They're properly mounted and secure. That's your control on, man. Piece right there, that's your control arm. That's your control arm. Make sure it's not cracked, broken. All your nuts and bolts are present. There should be no illegal weld, no weld on it. It should be welded. check it, make sure it's working properly, because if there's something wrong with the ABS light will be on, so it's working proper color amber. But come back here and check my indicator lights. It said red in the rear. So I'm gonna check it and make sure it's the proper color is red, it's working properly mounted and secure. I'm gonna come here and check my tag, make sure it's clean and up to date. And my light is working properly, my tag light is working properly, it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's working properly. Then I'm gonna come here and go with my hinges. Check all my hinges. Check all my nuts and bolts on my hinges. Check what I'm checking on my hinges, make sure they're not cracked or they're not broken. Make sure all my car keys and pins are present. Then I'm gonna come here and check my lights. We got my brakes light, turn signal light, four-way flashing lights, and running lights. They working properly, proper color on them is red. Then I'm gonna come here and check my DOT bar, DOT bumper, and make sure at least 18 inches off the ground. It's not hanging too low, it's not bent, it's not cracked, it's not broken, not falling off. Then I'm gonna check my tape on my DOT bar, make sure I got the proper tape on it. DOT tape on it, reflectors on it. All right, then I'm gonna come and check my door reflectors on it, make sure I have my DOT reflectors on my door, on both sides of my door. Then I'm come in, check my door ties here, make sure they're present, secure, they're properly mounted, secure. Then I'm looking up and down my door, check all my hinges on my door, they working properly, all my nuts and bolts are present. Then I'm check my indicator lights at the top, proper color is red, they're not cracked, they're not broken, they're working properly. Then I'm gonna come here, check these lights the same way I check those lights. Then I'm gonna come here, open my door, put that to the side. When I'm looking for a daylight, there shouldn't be no daylight in this trailer. If daylight, the indicator that you got a hole inside your trailer. I'm looking at the top, I don't see no daylight coming through the top of my trailer. The side of my trailer, the same, I don't see no daylight coming through it. And the floor of my trailer, I don't see no daylight coming through it, so the floor is strong enough and clean enough to carry a load. Come here. Shut my door back. Make sure the latches at the top, put it at the bottom. Make sure I put my latch down on top where the door will come up. Then I'm gonna come here. I would say I would check this side the same way with that side when you hit me with my lights. And when you get on the inside, you turn your lights, we do your brake light, four-way flashing light, turn signal lights. All right. And when you get on the inside, do the inside. All right, brake. The sharp. Yeah. From underneath the tag, you want to put it, store it back in where you got it from. Stick it in. Don't want to ship my box. Don't want to let my hood down. Make sure I fasten my hood. Too fasten on this hood, you gotta fasten both sides now. You're riding down the road, hit the brake, and your hood come up. Alright. Next will be the inside. Do the inside. Point connection. Getting in and out the truck. You always get in 3-point and you get out the same way. Always 3-point connection, getting in the truck, then getting out the truck. Always come out backwards, like you went in. Alright? Yeah. Alright. Check your seatbelt. Make sure your seatbelt not torn or not dry rotted. You know, make sure you lock in place, that you take it, you lock it in place, that it lock in, and it do, so it's working properly. Then next you want to do, start at the top. Look at all your compartments. Make sure everything fastened down and tight. You don't want to be driving on the road, something fall down and hit you in the head. Everything's secure and tight there. Then we're gonna come down to the floor. We're gonna check, make sure everything's put up. We're gonna make sure ain't nothing gonna roll. And get in between your shifting, nothing can stop you from get shifting. And make sure ain't nothing roll, get up under your brake and clutch pedal. We got that. The next one we'll do, I like to start working my way down, check my windshield, on the inside of my windshield. Make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, no legal stickers. Then I'm gonna check my door, check my mirrors. Make sure my mirrors are properly adjusted, they are. Then I'm gonna come here. What I'm gonna do now, start my truck up, what you call a save start. Push my clutch in. With this truck, I gotta wait till it cycles through before I can crank it up. Okay, you ready to crank up? When I'm cranking up, first thing I'm gonna look for, my oil pressure gauge. Make sure my oil pressure gauge rises between 30 and 40 psi, and it do. Don't do check my temperature gauge. Check my temperature gauge, make sure it gradually rises, and it do. Don't do look at my primary, secondary air gauges. Make sure they're working properly and they getting up to 120 psi like supposed to. I'm gonna check my fuel gauge. My fuel gauge is working, it's full. Check my depth gauge, it's working, it's full. And next I'm gonna check my voltage. I got my voltage gauge here and I got a voltage gauge here. It should be at 14. It's at 14 amps, so it's working properly. Everything working properly. Then next I'm doing my indicator lights. Get my lights on, check my high beam, it's working. Low beam working. Left turn signal indicator is working. Right indicator lights is working. Four-way flash indicator lights is working. Then next, I'm gonna check my windshield wiper. Make sure they're working. Check my windshield wiper fluid. Make sure it's got fluid in it. It's working properly. The next I'm gonna do check my heat, the defrost. Make sure it's working properly and it's air. Feel the air coming out of it. Then I'm check my vent to make sure it's working properly. It is. The next, I'm gonna check my city horn, check my highway horn. It's working properly. The next, got all that done. Next gonna be brake check. What I'm gonna do first, check my trailer brakes. Put my tractor brakes in, check my trailer brake. It's working properly. And next, I'm doing check my tractor brakes. It's working properly. Put both of them in, check my service brake. Take my hand off the steering wheel, hit my brakes. It's working properly. Then pull to the left and then pull to the right. So it's working properly. Next, cut my switch off. Cut my switch back on. All right. With my foot off the brakes, I'm checking it. It shouldn't drop no more than 3 psi with my foot off the brakes. Then I put my foot on the brake. Shouldn't drop no more than 4 psi per minute with my foot on the brakes. It's working. Now I'm gonna fan it down. Between 80 and 60, my warning light or my buzzer should come on. and it's working. Now I'm gonna keep fanning it down till my brake valve pop out. They should pop out between 40 and 20. And they're working properly. So that's the end of my pre-trip. If I forget something, I'm thinking about it. Before I say it's over with, I sit and think about it. If I got something, I can get out and go back over it. But I think I got everything, so that's the end of my pre-trip.